Doesn't Britney realize that she's the one who could have been putting her kids' lives in danger basically every time she takes them out in public? Jane, she knows she's going to be surrounded wherever she goes.
AJ, you're absolutely right. Let's face it, she's a menace to those who surround her. If I had a nickel for every toe she's driven over in recent months, I'd be a rich woman. And this woman is such a menace that, as you heard in the report, she's not even allowed to drive with her kids in the car. What she should do is not attack the paparazzi, it's stay away from the paparazzi. Why does she feel the need to go to Starbucks and go to the pet store and go to Taco Bell? That's not what stars do. They get assistants to pick up their coffee for them and bring them somewhere discreet. She has to start acting like a star and staying out of the spotlight, staying off the public streets, and staying in some area that stars stay in when they don't want to be seen.
Amen. Ashley Banfield, let me toss it over to you. Doesn't Britney just bring a lot of this on herself?
Well, I think the easy answer there is when you shave your head and get a tattoo all on the same night and then take an umbrella to a car in front of a camera lens. Yeah, a lot of this stuff does fall on Britney's head, pardon the pun. And you know what? She isn't a kid. She is a 25-year-old mother of two, so she does have to take the responsibility here. That said, I don't know a whole lot of people, AJ, who are under the kind of scrutiny that this young woman is under. It's no excuse, though, because I think we all know Brad and Angelina have a lot of scrutiny, and yet they keep their 4 kids out of the public eye. Tom and Katie, same thing. Julia Roberts, same thing. We barely see pictures of these stars' kids, and it's not because they don't get out and do things. They don't live in caves. They're just extraordinarily cautious about their children. And yet there's Britney driving around with the top down with 2 car seats in the back going through a throng of paparazzi. It's inexcusable.
Yeah, it is. And all that said, of course, some of the stars you mentioned, Brad and Angelina, Tom Cruise, I mean, every big star does have security personnel that keeps them protected, but it's really to keep them from getting hurt themselves. So she has the new security now, and now TMZ is also reporting that Britney's hired this private investigator supposedly to dig up dirt on K-Fed. Jane, what do you think the PI could possibly be looking for here?
Well, of course, we know K-Fed is a party guy. He parties in Vegas, and he's probably not squeaky clean. Who in Hollywood is? But I think this is an extraordinarily bad idea. You know, there's a principle in the 12 steps that says don't take somebody else's inventory. Keep your own side of the street clean. And that's what Britney should be focused on now, keeping her own side of the street clean. Let's face it, with the tabloid scrutiny on this ex-couple, anything that's really awful is going to come out in the wash. And of course, the courts are scrutinizing both of them. So she shouldn't be worried about what he's doing. She should be worried about what she's doing. She's got enough trouble on her own without snooping into his life.
Yeah, I agree there, but she is doing it. And, you know, before he did run for world's best dad, as you mentioned, Jane, or alluded to, he didn't really have the best reputation in the past. So, Ashley, do you think K-Fed has anything to worry about here with the PI looking into his private doings?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I totally agree with Jane. And then I want to add to that, look, if K-Fed goes through a red light or two, and who among us hasn't, it's now going to be caught on tape. And just because he's perhaps not as great a guy as he's appeared to be so far, doesn't make her a better parent. You can dig up dirt, but it doesn't clean up dirt on your behalf. The only thing I think she can do is buy herself maybe a little bit of deflection, maybe a little bit of headline for him instead of headline for her when it comes to these kids. But if she thinks for a minute that finding him a bad dad because he drives badly or he maybe lights up now and again, she's got another thing coming. Jane's right. She has to clean up her own house.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a little counterproductive. You know, as you mentioned, though, K-Fed's been on Britney's case for a while, pointing out all of her mistakes, running to court just about every time that she makes a mistake. So, Jane, why do you think it did take so long for Britney to go on this counterattack?
Well, I think she's been kind of shell-shocked. I mean, if you see these videos of her leaving any kind of store surrounded by a sea of paparazzi, how could you even think straight in the midst of all that? And now she's kind of like, okay, I'm going to go on the counteroffensive. Here's my strategy. But this is such a bad idea, especially for the kids. Let's face it. Yeah. Little kids want more than anything else mommy and daddy to love each other. They may not be able to love each other ever again, but they can at least be civil. And declaring war on your ex and sending out private investigators to dig up dirt is probably going to come back to haunt her when those kids are teenagers and read about this.
Yeah, because the truth is, you know, if she does dig up dirt, we are going to hear about it.